Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Packer Universe podcast. We're a Green Bay Packers fan podcast that brings you topical and relevant Packers news, along with our most humble, subjective opinions. A reminder, this is a video episode again. If you're listening on the podcast, head over to our YouTube channel. Check us out there on video. And don't forget to hit subscribe and like. Today is July 28th, 2024, and it's a Sunday. And I am here with my co-host, Ren, next door. I didn't know we were doing the sunglasses, Ren. So I am here
you
with
had them
Ren.
on today, so they're coming off pretty quick. But Corey Hart was in the building with the Brewers today, so I figured, not the same Corey Hart, but you got to wear your sunglasses at night, even though it's daytime.
That's right. So I'm here with Ren, and we decided to jump on today. It's a Sunday. Because relevant Packers news has bestowed upon us. And we're, almost a day and a half late, Ren, because they like to drop news on Friday afternoons and Friday evenings for that matter.
Evenings for that matter, yeah.
Boom. And, it's like, okay, well, most of us have, we're doing other things and that sort of thing. So We're here today. It's the weekend, but we're getting this in. And obviously we're going to talk about the Jordan Love contract extension and our reactions to that. But you and I, we were at training camp on Monday, the opening day here. This little pic of us at
look at that.
Lambeau. Yeah, there it is. We were there,
good-looking dudes.
That's right.
Yeah, there we go. A little pup list going on at Lambeau. Yeah, nice.
So we were there. Our last episode was that day one of the Packers training camp. So check that out if you missed it. Otherwise, there's been, a full week of practice, Ren, for training camp practice, quote unquote training camp practice of the Packers this week. So we wanted to kind of get in a little bit on that action. I wanted to see what you had to say about it and kind of see where are we at with things with the Packers here. But just briefly that before we get into the Jordan Love thing, have you been paying attention? What did you see? Just kind of what's your feeling about the the Packers training camp so far? I like the trackers.
I like the trackers. That's that's like cack-a-pamels there, Ted.
Yeah,
I don't know what you got going on. But, I was a little tongue-tied, like Brian Gutekunst trying to say diligently. I don't know.
Or Murphy trying to still introduce Brian Gutekunst. He still does it. Murphy, it's like, dude, like his
his name? Is that his name? Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if Mark knows. Yeah. He just calls him Goody. He just doesn't worry about it.
But anyway.
Goody, my boy. Yeah, I don't want to try to pronounce your name, man. Mine's Murphy. It's pretty simple.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, obviously, last time, I spoke, we talked about some things, with regards to the Packers. It was a pretty kind of ho-hum week. You're like, is this a concern? No, it's not a concern, and inevitably it didn't. Again, if we got kind of like DEFCON 9 for me, if we got close to family night next weekend, that would be pretty terrible for the fan base that paid the money to have those tickets.
For a lot of talking without Jordan being there.
Correct.
Okay.
And obviously that we'll get to Jordan like you're talking about, but we got the news break Friday evening. I actually was hanging out with a bunch of friends over here and kind of was lagging on that by about 30 minutes, which is crazy. That said, the first week there were 4 practices. They were all non-padded practices. So Jordan literally missed nothing. We're talking about OTAs, getting everybody involved. Some of those heavy hitters throughout the course of, the first week of training camp, which includes yesterday and already today as well. Rashawn Gary's been a beast. Literally got Andre Dillard demoted today. Not hard to do. I don't think this guy wasn't on our 53-man roster mocks. I think he might have been on yours. He definitely wasn't on mine. Gary was eating him up. They bring in Kadeem Telfort. He ate him up as well. Rashawn has just been everything that he should be as advertised based on where he's finally coming off a year clean from the ACL, and he's just eating him up. So much so, I think it was today or yesterday, getting a little beef with Matt LaFleur on the practice field when LaFleur had to come in and break some stuff up and, taking the side of the offense, and Rashawn wasn't having it, which is good. It's just kind of team camaraderie. They're pushing each other, man, which is great. Other anecdotes, we've seen Eric Stokes have a couple interceptions. already throughout the first week of camp. Those are good signs. We're talking about comeback player of the year a few weeks ago on the Packers. That was my choice.
Named by you,
Um,
yes.
yep. So good to see him getting back in form. But the big key before Jordan got back was really the offense has been awful today. I mean, you're talking terrible. Sean Clifford. Want to say Chad Clifton there. Somehow in my brain, Chad Clifton and Sean Clifford are connected. But that said, Sean Clifford has had a really rough camp through even today's camp day, through another 2 interceptions today. He is struggling, as the old Joe Namath piece goes, on the sidelines. And it's unfortunate, but maybe they need to move Pratt to that second team and start getting him some looks, because as I talked about, I thought they'd only keep 2, and you can stash Clifford on the practice squad at this point. A guy like Michael Pratt, who is a brand new guy, did some nice things at Tulane. Somebody's going to grab him just because he has upside that you don't know about. Where Clifford, kind of the writing is there already. It's the script is being done. He did do some okay things in 2 minutes today, apparently, but it's been a struggle throughout the first week of camp for him. But the overall arcing thing is the defense without Jordan Love there was just eating both of those guys up. There's a really, really neat piece, Jair mic'd up by the Green Bay Packers. They put that on their socials. You go to greenbaypackers.com. You can watch that. He's just been, every form of Jair we want to see. He is playing things tight. He is talking trash. He's having a lot of fun. So I encourage everybody to go to greenbaypackers.com, watch that little mic'd up piece with Jair in training camp. He is everything as advertised. I think finally getting past that Barry thing has really kind of re-energized him with this unit with Halfley, which is great to hear. I know Edgerrin Cooper has had, as a rook, a nice kind of standout first week, doing some nice things. Those are things you want to hear. There's been some other things. I think today in practice, Jordan got picked off. I want to say pick 6, Carrington Valentine. So I know Jordan had a slow start yesterday in his first day in pads, but then he lit it up after he got his feet back under him. I mean, he was just a deep one down the field to Christian, and then the culminating touchdown to Romeo Dobbs. Apparently Romeo's had a very good camp. Just Mr. Consistency. That's your boy, 87. Tay, I know you're a Romeo guy. But the other piece throughout the first week of camp is 3-kicker competition.
Yeah, I just was going to talk about that a little bit.
Yeah, we have to, Tay. Your boy Anders went 11 for his first 11, and then just missed. Apparently some wind kicked up on his 12th kick. And that's where he missed last year, was left. And this one went a little left, hit the upright, no good. But has just been banging them. A lot more confident, hitting them down the middle consistently. Greg Joseph's also 11 for 12. There's an anecdote there. And then, what is it, James Blake, the guy they brought in? James Turner.
Yeah.
Okay. Appreciate that correction. From Detroit, although they probably wish he was there given their unfortunate circumstances with a little competition, but he's 8 for 12. So he has been kind of the guy off the side. Will probably be released here over the next few weeks, one would guess, and it'll come down to the Anders Greg Joseph experiment. But it seems like Anders got some things corrected in the offseason. And when he's hitting Tay, he's hitting them. He's hitting them hard. He's hitting the ball hard, and they're going straight through, and then missed the final one. So you have to feel better about that. I mean, we'll see what the following weeks have to show us with regard to Anders Carlson.
Yeah. And I'm looking forward to, obviously, preseason games to seeing what he's doing. I mean, these are practices, right? But obviously, every practice is good for a struggling kicker. And I think I was reading some things, courtesy of Packers Wire. You have Paul Brettel, who is a contributor, and he's saying Carlson has been solid. He's made like a lot of them down the middle, and he just has more power than the other two. He's basically, and Paul is basically saying that James Turner, this young kid, is a distant third. It's going to be just a battle between Greg Joseph and Anders Carlson, who both have the 91.7% completion rate for kicks, and you're going to see that. But I think like we both understand and know, if it's going to be a tie, the tie is going to go to Anders Carlson.
Yeah,
It's just
you got to go with the young guy, Tay. I mean, Greg Joseph's career in the NFL, and you look at the career numbers, they're not great. And Anders is, the arrow points up. I mean, if he cleans this up and he gets better year to year, you're going to go with the young kid who, again, we talked about in the past how Mason struggled early in his career, had to, and then got solid and had that little dip in the middle, and he stuck with him. That's okay. We don't feel great about, some of those big kicks he missed last year that might have cost him a game, i.e. San Francisco especially. But that is something, when you don't bring in competition, you run yourself into. Maybe they needed a vet kicker in the playoffs. They might have been a wise choice, and you still could have had Anders on your roster for this offseason. So one of those things that maybe they regret, clearly.
I do.
But, yeah, I know you do. We've had those conversations ad nauseum, without a doubt. But yeah, again, the first many days that was missed in camp, bringing this thing back full circle, it was really the defense getting theirs, eating and just feasting on the offense with two very inexperienced quarterbacks who are not playing well, vying for that backup piece where, could it get to a point where they consider a veteran quarterback as the backup?
Right.
If this play continues that way, quite possibly, Tay.
Yeah.
You certainly have to consider, because as other people have said out there in the universe, I mean, you lose Jordan maybe just for a couple weeks. Do you want one of these guys potentially trying to get you a win, or a vet who maybe can, let's say miss 3 weeks, a vet who can get in and at least get you one win over those 3 games? So something they're going to have to think about. Certainly we laud, Sean for the rookie year he had, and they didn't have to go to that well. Obviously threw a nice pass in Dallas when they realized, we got to bring Jordan back in because this thing's getting a little too close for comfort. But other than that, I mean, we knew Sean Clifford is not the second coming of Mark Brunell, unfortunately. So, so the writing on the wall may be there, and it's been Rashawn Gary, it's been Jair Alexander, it's been some nice things from some of the other people. Javon Bullard has had a really nice camp to start. You like to hear those things about Javon, the stick of dynamite. But yeah, the defense has kind of won the day up until Jordan returning yesterday on Saturday.
Yeah, and basically, like we knew on Monday, they were going to go in doing a padless practice for a long time. So that was expected. And we all kind of were like, well, what is Jordan really missing here? But I know from a coach's perspective, and I think Matt LaFleur even said so in the last couple of days, like, yeah, practice is crucial for development. And let's be honest, he's still a developing quarterback, and you need to get in there and be a part of the team. Matt LaFleur also said, yeah, he's been a little rusty, but by the end of practice, was it today or maybe it was yesterday? By the end of yesterday's practice, he finished strong. So I think that's a positive sign, and it sounds like Jordan hit the ground running and was able to not really skip a beat, miss a beat. But it's a good segue, Ren, because let's get into J-Lo and the love
and the deal. Yeah, a lot of love.
Yep, a lot of love. And we heard about Tua, the quarterback in Miami. He got his deal on Friday, and that was a 4-year, $212 million deal. And then late, obviously, Friday night, we hear about the Jordan Love contract extension, which is a $220 million deal. And it's giving historic $75 million guaranteed to a quarterback, and which is the most that we've ever seen. I guess my initial reaction was too much. I've been saying this, didn't want to overpay for a guy we weren't exactly sure on 100%. He seems like the guy, but do we really know? Not really. A good half of the season last year, so I am tentative. I think it's a big risk unless he's good, unless he works out, which then it's fine. But right now I'm like, I still don't think we should have paid so much. I don't think we should have contributed to the over bloating quarterback contracts that has just taken over the league in the last several years. I think it's going to be bad for business later. And if you end up like parting ways with the quarterback, the team takes a big cap hit and the player's not getting that money. So why are we even having these huge bloated contracts if some of these don't even work out and go through their duration? I think you're on that precipice of being really bad deals in the end. But of course, this is the modern NFL day and age where you need a quarterback. You got to pay for a quarterback. And obviously, the Packers think this is the guy. We've seen that he can be the guy. I think most of us are like, yeah, but let's just see this year. But we had to do something, right? You have to do something. You have to get the guy that you have and have confidence in and ink the deal. So that's what's happened here. My question to you, I guess, was, and before I did a little more research on my own, was I'm worried about this whole like, what happens if you have to cut ties with the guy? Like, are you screwing yourself over with cap hits later down the road? Are you kicking the can here? What is actually the reality here with this? That's my worry. That's the risk I think the Packers are taking. So when I did look at it, it turns out to be fine. And I think you have maybe you can explain a little better in how that you don't think the Packers are in a very tough spot about it. But I'll ask you that question, but I'll also rewind a little bit and get your first takeaway, your first reaction to the J Love announcement extension.
First takeaway, Tay, Friday night hanging out with some friends on the porch was nice. Glad it's done. Like, let's get into practice. Let's go. Because clearly the struggles we just talked about in training camp were not great. You want QB1 out there. You want this thing matching up against Hafley's new defense the right way. And so that's my first takeaway is like, perfect. He's back in the fold. We have our franchise quarterback for the next 5 years, technically, because it's an extension. So we have 2024, 25, 26, 27, 28. That's how that works till age 30 for him. And when you look at the numbers as those things came in, it's a very team-friendly deal through the first 4 years of the contract. Year 5, you're talking about, on average, if you average it out, it's about a $35 to $37 million piece each year on the cap. But actually, year 1, year 2, year 3, it's much less than that. It gets, I think, around year 4, it's like around 40.
But that's 42. I got it up. I got it up on the screen now. I grabbed this
read
from.
That screen. And
no, that's problem.
I need my bifocals out for that one.
What?
Speak to it.
But yeah, this screen, everyone that's watching on YouTube can see this, but this is the breakdown I got from overthecap.com. And Ren is referencing 2027 when the cap hits at $42 million. Years prior were 20, 29, and 36. So yes, it does increase, but it's not terrible. We're not talking about Aaron Rodgers type of cap hits here.
No.
Which is nice. But I would look at, you got to look at this as a 4-year extension or a 4-year deal, including this one. So 24, 25, 26, and 27. When it gets to 28 is when you got issues. So you're going to have to see something from the Packers or Jordan to restructure or extend again, right?
Right. The year prior, Tay, because
28, right?
Because when you look at that final year of the deal, it's a $75 million cap hit, and they did put in a void year there forward, which also has some significant dead monies. And the Packers like void years, and so that obviously they threw one in there. But the hope is obviously the thing gets restructured probably year 3 if things are going well, and they just push monies out. That's the typical piece. Kick the can, make this cap work. More money's coming in, as we know, with these NFL deals with the media. So honestly, it's a pretty team-friendly deal. 4 years to go that they have a wide open window. They'll be able to sign guys. This is not going to hamper the Packers. Other guys will be able to get theirs as they come up. We know that, the Romeo Doubs, Christian Watsons, the Tucker Crafts, Lucas Musgraves, and other guys through the duration of this deal will come up.
AJ Dillon's. Yep.
No. But there'll be guys that you want to get in, and this is not going to hamper that, along with some free agency action or trade deadline action. So I think it's a perfectly fine deal. And listen, Tay, this guy took the 4-year extension. It could have been much longer, which would have been beneficial to the Packers, the way they're able to move that money further out and lessen this hit and make it even more team friendly with regard to future signings, etc. But Jordan's banking on himself. So you got to like that too. He's saying, hey, I want to go ball out. I'm going to hit 30 and get another contract. And it's going to be a mega contract. And I want to make some significant money. So he's banking on himself. And that just tells you the confidence he has. And you got to love to see it, Tay. Really, that's what it comes down to. You want to know your guy and his agent are that confident that he is, in this 4 years going to produce some significant results for the Packers. Maybe a la 1, 2, 3 chips, Tay. Who knows? Let's hey, it's late
whoa,
July.
whoa.
It's late July. Let's live in the atmosphere that we need to. But is one Super Bowl in the next 4 years, certainly a possibility? I would say, yeah, absolutely. Okay. 2 happens, we're over the moon, right? But based on this young roster and where they're at, I don't see any real issues with it today. This is the going rate market today for a quarterback in the NFL. Yeah. You look at Trevor Lawrence, you look at what Jared Goff got. Obviously, the Packers waited a little bit more. Tua gets one. But when you look at a guy like, let's say all 3 of those guys today, whose ceiling is the highest? Honestly, right. You're a Packer fan, but
it's an opinion.
It is an opinion. These are humble, subjective opinions. So give me yours.
I mean, even if you look at like the top, whatever there are now, you have Joe Burrow, you have Lawrence, Tua, Jalen Hurts. Who's another one you can throw in? Baltimore, forgetting his name.
Lamar Jackson.
I mean, these. Who do you want? I mean, sure, I'm a homer. I'll take Jordan Love. Joe Burrow's great. He did go through an injury spell a few years ago. He's pretty talented.
But I didn't bring up Burrow. I just brought up the guys just got deals. Lawrence, Tua.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying because I'm saying Joe because he's making that money. Joe's making that mid 55.
He already was making that,
right?
Which was crazy at the time, right? And he's had some injury issues.
Yep.
He's a good quarterback, no doubt, but.
Yeah, I mean, you could say Jordan is right in there. I mean, you're going to have to go younger than Jordan to potentially give someone a better higher ceiling. So yeah, but
do you think, for example, Tua Tagovailoa, right?
Yes.
Do you think his ceiling's been hit, or do we think, he's got room to grow?
No, I think he may grow a little bit. He may get just a little bit better, but I think he's definitely serviceable. He can be great at times, and he honestly, like, if you looked at him objectively, he's a good quarterback. Like, that's what you would want in a franchise quarterback. But Jordan Love, there's a possibility of being great. Like,
right. So like
for a long time,
Jordan's ceiling could be much higher, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
But that's a very
we don't know the floor either. Is the point, Tay? We don't.
Yeah.
There could be a floor in there, but the ceiling is pretty damn high. And that's what Jordan's banking on himself and his agent, David Mulgeta. And that's what the Green Bay Packers are banking on.
Let me ask you,
when you look at the second half of the season and how he plays in Matt LaFleur's offense as an actual student of said offense, with his ability to play outside the pocket, which is almost a necessity with some of these quarterbacks nowadays. Joe Burrow can't really do that today. Quarterbacks like that. Trevor Lawrence, a little bit, but Jared Goff, not so much. But it's more of a, nowadays that kind of Pat Mahomes, Lamar Jackson ability to play outside the pocket, which Jordan brings. And that's not his strong suit. And they don't want him to do that, but he brings that element that Aaron Rodgers no longer had at his age. He was great when he was young to be able to do that and improvise. Now he's going to be kind of statuesque and still try to do it and probably fail. But the point is, this kid can do all the things you ask and more, and we haven't seen it yet. So the ceiling is there. That could be out of this world. Again, he could win 2 Super Bowls in the next 4 seasons, and that'll be more than either of the 2 predecessors before him. Does that make him a better quarterback? No, but under the new guys in the NFL,
for that media debate, right?
Right, that'll be a debate for another day, but under the guise of the new NFL, the way quarterbacks play the game and how it is important to have a mobile, effective, strong-arm quarterback who can make plays happen. Jordan Love, ding, 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 hits all those markers, and we haven't seen the best yet.
Yeah, and you hope, and that's really the risk here, right? That is a risk the Packers are taking. They have decided to go all in on this. Actually, not all in. I was gonna ask you, why wouldn't the Packers want to go for a 7-year contract, and
They
just
did.
lock
I'm
him
sure
in,
they did.
and then but Jordan's camp's like, no, this is the
Yep.
extent we'll give
Mm-hmm.
you. We're not
Yeah.
giving any more. So yeah, that would have been nice, but then it would have been nice to lock him in because that's the hope here, right? If
Yeah.
Jordan Love continues on his trajectory, win-win. Everybody's great. Like, I'm not complaining. I'm not worried anymore. You got to be competitive every year, and I think the trajectory is going that way. So there's no reason to not think that. But if it doesn't, wow, it's going to look bad. How bad?
But
We'll
Tay,
see.
in 3 years, you can start to figure yourself the way out
Yeah,
of it.
but you're in three
That's the
years.
thing.
Yep, and that's
So,
fine. I like the
and
long game with the Packers.
so I mean, if you're saying it's a 3-year thing, so what? I
Yeah.
mean, the way it looks right now is, again, $75 million signing bonus eats up a lot of that money today. So that'll all come in before, December 31st. That way they have that all worked out. And then, you look at through the first 2 years, it's 100.3 million guaranteed. And then it rolls into the third. Now it's definitely 160.3 guaranteed. So they have ways to, go through these mechanisms to, if they really feel like this isn't working out, that, after 3 years from now, they will, and they'll, rebuild. And we all hope that is just a bunch of garbage and not a thing we have to talk about. So I don't think it's bad either way. Jordan's, again, buying on himself, and the Packers are too. And, if it doesn't work, it's, in 4 years, we're talking about drafting high and drafting a new quarterback. So I believe in Jordan. I think it was the right bet on both parties, and I think they're in good shape.
Well, let's hear from the guy himself here. I don't know if I can necessarily use this, but I'm going to use it anyway, and we'll see what happens, Ren.
Ed Policy will be hitting you up later, say.
So let me just I'm trying to make it better for the visuals here, but I'm just going to do it anyway. It's just going to cover our screen, but it's okay. So here we go. Here's Jordan himself.
Yo, what's up, Packer Nation? Just want to first and foremost say I'm excited to get back on the field, get after it today, get back out there with the team, man. We're fired up. Go out there and put on a show this season and chase our goals, man. Let's go. Go, Pack, go.
There he is. That was his reaction. Jordan's all in. He's ready to go. Not skipping a beat. But I want to put my tentative, naysaying gut reaction a little bit about that.
I call that Tay-saying, but yeah.
Tay-saying. I'm gonna suppress it. I'm gonna put it away. I'm gonna put it in a lockbox. Throw away the key because I want to be excited about this. I want to be excited for this training camp, excited for this year, and those type of feelings just kind of make you, I don't know, it goes against the grain a little bit. So I'm going to leave that aside, Ren. I'm going to join you in your camp and be super happy about all this because I want to be excited. I don't want to be always looking over my shoulder like, ooh, contract, is it going to be good? I'm just going to have fun with this.
Not your money to spend, Tay.
True.
Doesn't matter.
Right. It's not. So
doesn't matter.
Let's have fun. Tay, let's have fun. Come on, man. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm in.
He's our ride or die in the next 4 years, Tay. And I'm loving it. Put it that way.
Loving it. Right.
Yes.
Well, I don't have any more, Ren. Do you have any more to say?
Not really, Tay. Again, I know that I was ride or die Rodgers before you were, and then the final year or so you kind of flipped and I was ready to get out.
Yeah.
And I'm happy for the new kind of place we find ourselves in so quickly. And again, what an amazing thing that Brian did and turned this thing around and the true colors of Matt LaFleur's offense and his ability to coach. And then for their ability to go really outside the box and not say this year, we're doing what every NFL defense has done, or getting a guy that fits into that scheme and bringing in their own version of what they want the scheme to look like. It's a little bit dangerous, but great. They're finally living in a new defensive era, which is amazing. I look forward to that as well. So, Tay, the arrows pointed up. We don't have to wait for Jordan Love to kind of get on the same page with these receivers and these tight ends through 7, 8 weeks of the season anymore. There's no excuse for it. So, whatever you see as this season, goes through its moments, Jordan has no excuses. He's there. They have camaraderie. They have connectability. I see big things and big success from this team, and it literally the day one back, you can see a complete change. The defense finally loses, a mini camp day, and on we go with Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers.
Right on, right on. I love it, Ren. That's good stuff. I couldn't say it better myself, and I won't. So I'll just piggyback off of that and thank all of our Packer Universe podcast fans out there for continuing to support us, watching our videos, downloading our podcast, following us on social media, following us on X. So I appreciate everyone out there for doing that. So we don't know when we will record next, Ren. I just want to tell our audience that. So keep looking out for us, and keep subscribed. The next thing that pops up, you'll get it, and hopefully you'll enjoy it.
Absolutely, Tay. I know you got to go enjoy some Tay time over the next 10 to 14 days, which everybody needs. So we wish you well in those endeavors, and maybe a little Ren time for the rest of the pup list. Until next time on the pup list with Ren, have a great vacay, Tay.
Thanks, Ren.
Anytime.